Okay guys, so I'm here making this video today to show you what I believe is a bad throttle position sensor that came off of my 1985 Camaro. The Camaro has a 305 tune port injection in it. Just got done doing a lot of work to it, replaced the water pump, put an adjustable fuel pressure regulator in because the diaphragm in it was blown out, new thermostat, changed a bunch of sensors around the car, new idle air control valve, put a heated oxygen sensor in it, and a couple little odds and ends. Fired the car up. After I got the fuel pressure adjusted right, the car ran great. Idled like a brand new car, but I noticed it still had this one little quirky problem that it always seemed to have before that I could never quite figure out. I almost thought it was a mass airflow sensor at one time, but I think now I figured out it's the throttle position sensor. I bought a new position sensor today, installed it on the car. Unfortunately, I have not gotten to test it yet because the rectifier in my alternator is bad. I'm waiting on the new one to get here so I can start the car again. But I've got the old one off of the engine right here, and I'm going to do a test today that is going to show why I think this one was bad. So what we're going to do, we've got the throttle position sensor, got the voltmeter, and we're going to hook the voltmeter up to the position sensor. Give me 1 second, got to put the phone down. Now, just so you guys know, I did do the volt test on the throttle position sensor. I actually used a laptop with WinALDL hooked up to the onboard diagnostic port to the car, so I could read the voltage coming directly off of the computer. The volt test checked out fine. I started in a linear fashion with throttle fully closed and slowly opened it all the way to wide open throttle and watched the voltage. There were a couple times where the voltage just hung there when I thought it should have increased a tad bit, but I didn't think anything of it. However, the resistance test is going to show us something different. So I'm going to turn the voltmeter on and set it to resistance mode. Now, the throttle position sensor right now is where it would be with the throttle fully closed if it were installed on the car. So, this is idle. That's wide open throttle. That's not good. As you can see, it's fucking up already. So, here's what I think happened. We're on idle right now, and what I'm going to do is slowly open it. And the problem with the car was always when you first came off idle, if you just feathered into the gas pedal off of idle, the engine would shake, it would kind of hesitate, misfire, acted like it didn't know what it wanted to do. Now here's why I think it was doing that. This is a resistance with the throttle fully closed. Now we're going to start to open it a little bit. It should increase in a linear fashion as I rotate the, whatever you want to call this, the arm on the throttle position sensor, which is what the throttle would be rotating if it was installed on the car and you stepped on the gas. So we're going to open it a tad bit. Jumps up a little bit there. Open it a little more. And now see, as I open it right there, it's actually, the resistance went up and then it started to go back down, and it's kind of just hanging there. We're going to open it up a little bit more. Now see, it did a big jump right there. It should not have jumped that much. So we're going to open it up a tad bit more, and everything seems fine from here all the way up to about 4 volts. Not 4 volts, sorry, ohms. So, what's going to happen? Something really interesting happens once we get to 4 ohms. See right there? Looked like the circuit kind of went open for a second. And everything else is pretty much fine all the way to wide open throttle. I'm going to go back down all the way to idle. See, looked like the circuit went open again. And we're going to do that idle test one more time. Now notice as I open the throttle position sensor, it's gonna start to increase and then actually decrease a little bit and just hang there, and then it does a big jump to 3 ohms. Okay, increase it a little more. See, went back down. There we go. It's going back up. Increase it a little, big jump. Okay. So for all the guys on TGO, if you think your throttle position sensor is bad, volt test is, the most obvious surefire way, but I also highly recommend a resistance test. It can show you some things that the volt test does not. So there you have it.